Did you know that you could potentially use the equity in your home to get a condo at the beach or maybe a cabin in the mountains with very little cash down? This video series is going to be my personal journey doing just that, taking very little cash down, the equity in my home to buy an investment property. And I'm gonna kind of chronicle the whole process into short video clips. This first video clip is going to be about the first thing that I did. So before I went around and looked at properties and kind of identified the area that I might want to buy, I took out a home equity line of credit. And you may say, why did you do that, John? If you're going to be buying an investment property, you're going to need to be putting down 20-25%. So let's just say you found there's a property that you want that's around $400,000. Well, you're gonna need then, let's say around $100,000 to be able to purchase that property. So that is where a HELOC comes into play. See, what I recognized with myself was that I was sitting on a lot of equity in my home, and guess what that money was doing? Nothing for me. So I wanted to use that money, that equity. And so if you don't know what equity is, I'll stop for just a moment and say, let's say you have $500,000, your home is worth about $500,000 right now, but you only owe $300,000. That would mean you have $200,000 worth of equity. If you had sold your home, then you would make around $200,000. Of course, that's minus real estate fees and different things like that. This idea is taking that money that's just sitting there doing nothing and actually using that money to purchase investments to make you money, right? And so I went down to my local bank. So just go down to your local bank and ask them for information on a HELOC, which is home equity line of credit. And what they do is they take that $500,000 that your house is worth, the $300,000 that you own, then they look at things like your debt to income ratio. So you'll need to apply for this loan, but it's very simple. It's a simple process. Your debt to income ratio and different things like that, your investments that you currently have, and they're gonna come out and they won't just simply say, well, you have $200,000 worth of equity, here's $200,000. No, they'll look at all those things and they'll say, okay, I'm willing to write you a $150,000 home equity line of credit, which is exactly what I actually got. So again, just go down to your local bank or find a bank, most local banks do these, and ask them about a HELOC and applying for it. Now, I will say that they do cost money. They're not very much. I think I paid $700 and something for my HELOC. So I think usually it typically ranges between $600,000, not that much, $600 and $800 or something like that. So how does a home equity line of credit work? It works pretty much like a credit card. I can go online and look at my online banking portal and see that I have $150,000 of credit extended towards me. And it doesn't cost me anything after the initial payment to get the HELOC until I actually start spending the money. And when I start spending the money like a credit card, I will start making payments on that. Now I can make payments just towards the interest, or I can make payments toward the interest and the principal. Two more things I want to mention about the HELOC. One is it is a adjustable rate mortgage, which means, and I just want you to know that means that the rate will fluctuate based on where prime is. I'll say right now it's much cheaper than the mortgage rates, so that's nice, but it will adjust based on that. And two, it balloons after a certain number of years. So after 10 years or maybe 20 years, you owe the amount of money. So if you had a $150,000 line of credit and you still owe $100,000, then that's due, right? Then you owe them $100,000. Now, when I talk to my bank, they let me know that, hey, if you're paying your bills on time and you're doing well with that, we can just renegotiate that whenever, year 9 comes around, so that, because we want to keep extending that credit to you if you're doing a good job with it. So I want to end the video right here at the moment. If you're interested in doing this, again, go talk to your bank about a home equity line of credit. And in the next video, I'll talk about lenders, but I'll also talk about trying to identify properties and good investments for you to invest in. Talk to you soon.